All right, my first question to everybody, do you have any questions about the last one? As always, let's begin there. Anything at all about those movement touches, about the location, about the move to, about the SK action, anything? Okay, so again, this took me a little bit of time to kind of coordinate it all. The idea here is I wanted 4 paddles because I wanted to have the ability to remove something. So if you chose to do breakout, you knew how to like remove something off the screen. If we ended here, I wouldn't have taught you all the different things that you needed for breakout. Make sense? Okay, so 4 paddles, and the idea is that once the ball hits that paddle's wall twice, that paddle's gone. That was kind of the idea here. So start with the game scene.sks. And we've got to create all 4 of our paddles. Now the fastest way on this guy is click on that first paddle, do a copy, then click off and do a paste, and bring him down to about where he is, and I'll tell you his specific coordinates. We want him to be first named bottom paddle, the piece that about 50% of you forgot. Christian, close your computer while I'm talking, please. Okay, so we want this one to be bottom paddle. We want his position, X is 0, Y is negative 263. Okay, that way he's exactly the same distance from the bottom as the other guy is from the top. Okay, his height and width are the same because we just copied and pasted that guy. Go down to his physics or his bounding rectangle. Make sure everything is correct there. Nope, friction 0, restitution 1.0, linear dampening 0, angular dampening 0. Okay? Pause there for a second to make sure everybody's with me on all the pieces you got to set. Because you're going to call me over, it's not working. And then you're going to find out you didn't set 3 of the 4 things. Okay? So, next, let's grab another color sprite out of the object library. Got to drag it up from this bottom. Because this guy is going to be different. Okay? You ready on this one? This one we'll put on the right-hand side. First thing I want you to do is name him right paddle. Next, his X position is 487. His Y position is 0. His size is 30 for a width and 144 height. Okay. The idea here is I made all of them 1/4 of the screen size. Because my thought was you could feasibly move 4 segments as you go across. I didn't want this to be the exact same size because his length is a lot smaller, so I didn't want him to be any longer and make it an advantage over on this side. Kind of make sense? Thought process here? All right, the final one, copy and paste that one. And we're going to move him over to the other side. He is going to be in an X position of negative 487. Y position is 0. Perfect. All right, and now if you pinch on the screen, we should see all 4 of them in the right position. Make sure that they're named. It's one of the first things that you guys are going to screw up is make sure that they are named. Top paddle, left paddle, right paddle. Okay. Go to our game scene.swift. All right. Got to do very similar things. Create a var for each one of them. Okay. So top paddle, bottom paddle. As you do that, I'm going to talk. Okay. All right, so we're going to remove some things here in a minute after we get all the paddles. First, I just want you getting all the paddles working in the directions that you guys get it. But the idea here is the movement that we did for the first paddle, I'm just going to mimic the movement of the bottom paddle. So that every time the top paddle goes to the left, I want the bottom paddle to go to the right. And I'm just going to use a little bit of math. What makes something that's going to the right make something else go to the left? A negative value. So I'm just going to change positive and negative values to each of the things. And in the X direction, I'm going to change the Y value as well. Nice. Perfect amount of time. So next thing we want to do is come down and we've got to set each child node to be the same idea. Okay. So what's it end up going to be is the movement of each paddle is just going to be negative its opposite paddle. Okay. All based off of that top paddle. And in the X direction, or the Y direction for the left or for the right. Does that make sense? So I'm going to pause here for a second because I don't think you need to watch him typing. But I need you guys to understand everything that I said, and then I'll give you time to work through it. Does everybody understand the things that I said? Or do you need to see like one example of one of the other paddles? It's okay. We can just take 2 extra minutes. No? So, final thing. Add all the paddles and their positionings. Add the sprite nodes, and then add the movements based upon negatives in the X direction and the Y direction. Let's do one, because I do see a couple people come down here. Let's just do one of the other paddles. Let's do the left paddle. Okay, and I'll give you the numbers. Scrolling down, left paddle dot run, SK action, open parenthesis. Yep. SK action dot move to Y. This time choose the move to Y. Yep. Because every time you forgot the SK action. You did notice that it did work. You guys saw that? We've seen that before. All right, so that one is just location.x and 0.2. Because we want the location of the one, the X based off of the top, to go to the Y location of that left paddle. Make sense? Yeah.
For the frame, for the boundary, the X is wider than the Y.
So I just ignored it. What you would do is you'd create a custom class called like left paddle or right paddle or something like that. And then you'd set the constraints like this guy cannot move past this position. And that's what you would do. I just bypassed it because it's actually fun that they can go off the screen that I thought. Okay? All right, I'm going to release you guys. Green ball up when you have all 4 paddles moving kind of in unison around your screen. Cool?
No, with the top paddle. Paddle use